Today we are going to talk about the Sabfoil Razor, one of the most underrated foil out there. Let's talk about it. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we have an exciting video. We are going to talk about the Sabfoil Razor. I hadn't really heard anything about this foil before I tried it, so you might be in the same situation. It's in my opinion one of the most underrated foil out there. I absolutely love it, so we're going to cover why I love it in today's video. But first, let's talk about Wingfoil Pro Center. It's our new shop, and if you've been enjoying our videos, if you learn, if you get inspired, please consider checking out our shop for any gear that you need. We carry several brands. Go check it out, including Sabfoil. And we also have a school located in Florida, so if you want to learn with us, sign up for some lessons. We really appreciate your support on the shop. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the Sabfoil Razor. I have some notes so I don't mess it up. There's 5 sizes: 980, 880, 820, 780, and 680. I've mostly used the 980, the 880, and the 780. I haven't tried the other 2, but basically this foil is made for surfing, free ride, wing foiling. It's a very easy foil to use and a very fun foil to use. That's why it's like literally became my favorite in many conditions, because most of the time I ride in light wind, I ride in tiny waves, and that the program of this foil is the magical part, is definitely the low end. To me, it's the best low end for this size that you will find out there. So talking about the size, it's pretty deceiving. So you have to forget about what you think of sizes. First, these numbers are like the wingspan, not the actual surface area. But let's talk about the 980 that's behind me. That's the one I've been riding the most, because I'm always in, like, consider it crappy condition or very minimal condition. The 980 is actually 938 square centimeters. So for this size, you would think it's a pretty small foil. You know, if you are gonna go ride light wind, if you are gonna go ride in small waves. But again, that low end is just making it magical. To really test the low end, I've been beach starting all of them. And I was able to beach start the 780, which is like a 630 something square centimeters, which is insane. I don't think I would be able to beach start a foil this small in any other brand or any other, like, you know, foil, basically. So the low end is absolutely insane. It turns really good, even though it's high aspect, and it was designed for surfing. So the turning to me is like unreal, and the reason is that you are able to ride a smaller foil for the condition. So let's say you are riding in light wind. I'm on a 938. If I was on any other foil, I would have to bump it up. I would have to be on like an 1100 or maybe a 1300. And that comes with, you know, it's a bigger foil, so it's not gonna turn as fast. It's not gonna be as fun. Basically, for downwinders, you know, a comparison foil for that equivalent low end will be a 1300 depending on some brands, and even a 1500 depending on some brands that offer like a higher, like a more efficient foil. So yes, you have a very efficient foil, but now you need a 1500 to get that low end. So you ride along, you are with your 1500, it doesn't really turn. It's just not possible. So now to get that low end, you know, you can only go straight or turn very wide turn. So to me, that is the game changer here, is that you rethink all of the notion of sizes that you had before, and now you are able to ride a smaller foil in condition where you wouldn't be able to before. So that's the game changer to me. If I can ride a 938 in tiny waves, why would I ride an 1100? It's never gonna turn as good. So it comes with compromise, of course. Amazing low end, well, you compromise a bit on the top end. But in my opinion, when I'm riding small waves, I'm never challenging the top end. What I need is a really good low end. So with that good low end, I'm able to take off early. I'm able to take tight turns without losing lift. It's very forgiving. With a foil more efficient, you would take a tight turn, lose a bit of speed, boom, you stall and you are down. And then in terms of the turning, why does it turn so good? Just because you are able to ride a smaller foil, again, for this kind of condition. So when I'm on a 938, if I was on an 1100 more efficient foil, it's just gonna be bigger and it's not gonna turn as good. So yes, it's high aspect, but it just turns so good because you are able to ride a small foil. So some of the things that I really like is that there is a lot of camber on that foil. That is what's giving it it's really good low end, and you see it's quite curvy on top. So again, it just like makes it an insane low end. Of course, that definitely compromise on the top end, but like I mentioned, in those conditions, I'm never really challenging the top end. I have yet to find a foil that allows me to ride smaller size in light condition, in small condition. So to me, this is a game changer, and I hope more brands start implementing foils that just perform really well in light condition and not always just like the best condition out there. Now, to some degree, that applies all the way down the Razor line, because if you have a tiny bit bigger condition, you could go with a much smaller foil. So let's say you would be riding a 630 square centimeters foil in condition where for another foil you would be on an 800 or an 850. So again, that reasoning of being able to ride a small foil for the condition applies all the way, not necessarily only in light condition. And to me, that is the game changer, is the fact that you can resync the kind of sizes that you can ride, and it just makes it such a fun foil because you have a tiny foil. Let's talk about the pumping, because it's a foil that's made for surfing, so you are gonna ride a wave, you are gonna pump back out. I would describe it as like an easy foil to pump in a way that's like very forgiving. It's very solid under your feet. Some foils, when they become very efficient, very high aspect, very high performance, you have to be very gentle when you pump, and because you can make a mistake and basically like make them stall, lose your speed, come down. This one, I feel like you can make mistakes and you are going to be able to save it. You come out of the wave, maybe your turn was not so clean, you lost your speed, you are able to pick back up and get out there. So to me, it's definitely, I would consider it as like an easy foil to pump, but you are going to feel that it's not going to pump as fast as a more like efficient thin profile foil like you can find out there. Those foils are really going to pick up speed when you pump, but of course they are more a bit technical. This one is just easy, not as fast, not as efficient, but it gets the job done. And to me, when I'm surfing, I don't want a foil that pumps really good back out but rides poorly the wave just because I can't turn, just because I have to keep my speed and I can't do like any like tight turn. So to me, I would rather compromise on the pumping and have a foil that's like a bit slower to pump but very fun to ride on the wave. Lastly, Sabfoil has two different connections with the fuselage, T6, T8. This is the T6, so you have to get the appropriate fuselage for that. I wish it would be one, but that's the way it is. So I've been riding mostly the 653 with the S370 stabilizer. I would like to try the 325, but I don't have it yet, so that's for another day. No need to shame it. It works, to me it works great the way it is. That's also something that I like. It works straight out of the box. So of course it's not all perfect, so let's talk about things that I wish would be a tiny bit better. So first, I would say the connection. If we look right here, Basically, you see the connection fuselage front ring is quite bulky. You have this thing that kind of like sticks out, and to me, I wish there would be a way to reduce that aspect and maybe make the front wing integrate with the fuselage a bit cleaner, because that, as you see, can add a bit of drag, so it's gonna limit you even more on the top end. Already this foil with its characteristic is not, you know, focused on the top end, but if we could have a clean connection, I feel like we could gain a bit more on the top end without changing, without compromising on the low end. I wish there would be a way to have a fuselage that's carbon, that's a bit lighter, but and then lastly, the mast is really good. It's a very stiff mast, but it's a bit heavy, and I wish it would be a one-piece. There would be an option for a one-piece mast, just because this can be very convenient, the Kraken system, being able to like remove your top plate from the mast, but personally I never take it off, so I would rather have something that's a one piece and then makes it a bit lighter. As a disclaimer, I am not sponsored by Sabfoil. I am not an ambassador for Sabfoil. I ride those foils because I absolutely love it, and this review is just my honest opinion, so feel free to drop your comment if you've tried it. It's always helpful. This is just my opinion. It counts for one opinion, and then it's important that you also share everything that you know about this foil, so other people can make the right decision. So my takeaway is really, yeah, you could be riding a foil that some pros are making it look really good, or you can have so much fun yourself with this foil. Honestly, you're gonna absolutely love it. Just try it, go out there. The goal is to have fun, and this might allow you to have so much fun on days where you might just want to stay home. Now you can go out there and have the best day ever. So don't forget to check out Wingfoil Pro Center to show us some love, and on this note, we'll see you guys next week.